10,000 fearless on the move.
Let's go.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the massive
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Well, how about that? Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you and welcome to the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, your friend, and your host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We're back, you all. We ain't going nowhere now. We may stay off for a few weeks to attend to matters, and we don't deem it necessary to be so frequent as we have been in the past. We certainly come to you when we have something that we definitely believe we need to share. But please allow me to begin properly in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We bear witness to the oneness of God, to the oneness of his prophets, and to the oneness of all of the scriptures that were revealed through them from the Supreme Being. We thank him for Moses in the Old Testament, for Jesus in the Gospel, and for Muhammad and the Holy Quran. Please allow us to greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum, or that simply means may peace be unto you. We got a program lined up for you tonight, brothers and sisters. Some interesting things have been happening locally in Marshall County in particular, Holly Springs more specifically, and nationally. And of course, you can find the best reporting on issues that confront us in our communities in that great newspaper, The Final Call newspaper, weekly published. And make sure you always get your copy. And you can find them now, the brothers in Holly Springs and throughout the state of Mississippi, really throughout America, just about anywhere You can find the Final Call newspaper in just about every major city and a lot of the minor ones, and even some of the nooks and crannies in smaller cities throughout the United States of America. Brothers and sisters, we're going to get right to the program. But first, as always, make sure you all are hearing me. Shout outs. Yeah, we got some level here. Shout out to those that have already joined. I mean, man, as soon as I launched the program, we saw people coming on. Guess that means that we're missed. But we're going to have the health segment by our sister Lynchelle X. And, of course, our brother William Muhammad will be coming on with the Farm Report in just a few minutes. But we want to get to our axioms. We always want you to remember, brothers and sisters, to never forget these. And before I even go there, we're going to be talking tonight or discussing what I call, or the title I decided to use was The New African Americans. And I say that as though I'm asking a question, because it is. The new African Americans, will they supplant the old ones? Very interesting. Also, we're going to be talking about weed shops in Mississippi hoods. Marijuana shops are popped up all over Mississippi, and I think, brothers and sisters, you all need to know where they are, how many they are. We've done the research, and according to the most recent numbers, we will be bringing you that information. So our axioms, of course, as always, we start with those from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, wherein he said to us first, quote, "He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity," end quote. Another one that he gives us is the definition of a slave, where he says, quote, "A slave is one whose power and authority is ruled over by another, and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master," end quote. And this one I think is quite fitting tonight as we see what's going on in the news, particularly with the P. Diddy case. And we should be reminded, brothers and sisters, regardless of how we feel about that situation, and many that have manifested in national news like it. We're hearing rumblings of what's about to happen, where the great legend Smokey Robinson, great R&B from the Motown era, the great Smokey Robinson. And we're going to start hearing more and more about that. So, brothers and sisters, always remember, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said to us, quote, "When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn, because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make a mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself." So, brothers and sisters, always keep that in mind. And I'll add another, because the information that we will share tonight, by the help of Almighty God Allah, will enlighten us to some new realities that have come into fruition that we simply were not aware of. So, in other words, our soul was in darkness about it. And this is why Dr. King quoted Victor Hugo in the wake of the crisis in American cities that was going on in the late 60s, when he said, "If the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness." So there you have it, brothers and sisters. Those are our axioms to get us started. We're going to break away for a minute, and we're going to give you all of our supporters and sponsors. So we'll be right back after these commercial announcements.
It's 20 past 12. Chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I I don't mean, you know. I don't mean, you know. See, I come in peace. Ain't nobody I am hurting except my enemies. But for my brothers, I am working. Cause the powers that be wanna see, that's why they're lurking. We're both making our peace, but different food we are serving. See, mine is for the fork, adding substance to the fork. And yours is for the...
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's famous seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reporting?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
And we are back live with the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother and your host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. And the Farm Report is right on top of us, and I think we already have our brother on the line. Let me scroll here a little bit and get to my brother. I'm sure he's somewhere on here. Yes, and there he is. Brother William, assalamu alaikum. Uh-oh, I'm not hearing you, brother. Brother William? Hold on just a second. I know he's there. Are you there, sir? You sound like you're in a bad spot there, Brother William. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay, we got you live and clear, loud and clear, I should say now, brother. Assalamu alaikum. We're so glad we got you, man. I thought we were not going to have you for a minute there.
Hey, well, make it smile, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, brother. What you got for us today? And let me...
Yes, sir. Okay, can you hear me clear?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Okay, yes, sir. We're going to start with our national farm. This coming Saturday, May the 17th, we're having our annual weed pulling contest on Muhammad Farms in Brunswick, Georgia. Also, that's going to be next Saturday on May the 17th as well. Anybody interested, they can contact me, Brother William Muhammad, 662-425-2646. And I'll make the arrangements to get you connected with Dr. Ridgely at Muhammad Farms to participate in the annual weed pulling contest. Weed pulling festival. Pardon me. Also, the wheat and the watermelons are looking good on the farm. Doc has been showing some pictures of it. He has a page on Facebook. He doesn't put the location because they usually, for some reason, remove his post when he mentions Muhammad Farms. So he just show pictures and of what's going on. We also got our Staple Good project coming along, Staple Good 26, which will be in September of this year. So I'll keep y'all posted on that one as well. And on our state farm, we got onions and cabbage, broccoli, squash, different types of peppers, butternut squash, beets, and then tomatoes and okra. And we're looking at planting some more as soon as the weather permits. They hadn't been raining the last couple of days, but it's still muddy out there, so we're not able to do any more planting at this time. So we just wait until the ground gets right so we can get back out there and continue. Also, on our local agriculture project here in Holly Springs, we're kind of behind on that one. The weather has been holding us up. As I mentioned the last time, I did get a chance to plant some watermelons, some broccoli, and some carrots. So as soon as we're able to get back out there, when the ground dries up some, we'll start back tilling and planting some more crops.
Man,
Yes,
excellent, brother. Thank you so much. So, man, when are we going to get some of all of that you mentioned, the broccoli and the cabbage and all of that good stuff, man? It's been a minute. Well, of course, last season, but I'm looking forward to some of those produce coming into Holly Springs at some point, brother. When do you think we'll see some of that?
Yes, sir. I'm hoping that something will be available next month in June.
Yes, sir.
Also, we got corn too. We planted that, but most of the corn, the crows, they sit back and watch, and then when we leave, they go out there and dig up the corn seeds and eat them up. But hopefully, we'll have something ready in June. As far as the watermelons on our national farm, that usually be about the end of June. When we're able to get a yield off of that, and he usually plants some cantaloupe as well. So I'm just going to keep y'all posted as I get the information, on that. So
Yes,
hopefully
sir.
I'll be able to go over there and get something. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But,
Also, Brother
yes, sir.
William, you mentioned some eggs, brother. Is that still going to be a go for this Sunday?
Yes, sir. We are producing eggs. We have chickens, as I mentioned several times before. They are laying, and I got some eggs the other day, and I'll be probably getting some more tomorrow or Saturday to bring up to the mosque, and hopefully we have some bread as well.
Well, good. I call for 2 dozen, brother. I mean, give me
Yes,
what
sir.
you
I
can.
got you. Yes, sir.
Don't leave the
Yes,
believer.
sir.
If I have to relinquish a dozen to share with the believing community, I'll certainly be willing to do that, my brother, and some of that wonderful wheat bread. So, hey, we're looking forward to it. Brother, thank you so much once again. We certainly appreciate your report. And we say to our listening audience, if you got a square foot of dirt somewhere around your house, you better start getting you some heirloom seeds and start your own personal garden. Because I'm telling you, you will thank yourself in the coming weeks, months, and years. Because the price of foods, I'm telling you, you think they're up now, you just keep hanging around and you will see where they're headed. So once again, Brother William, thank you so very much, brother. God willing, we'll hear from you again next week if we're on. And until then, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Thank you for having me. Wa alaikum salam.
And that was our brother once again. Let's give him a round of applause. We certainly appreciate his report. As always, and of course, we got next in the funnel, we got our sister Lynchelle X with the Health Minutes. Sister Lynchelle.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing well by the grace of Allah. How are you doing, sir?
Sister, I am blacktastic and getting better. That's our nurse extraordinaire. We got some nurses in the nation of Islam. She is one of them. And we got first responders. We got all kinds of professional people among us. But sister, what's the report for tonight?
Well, I know last time I was on, I spoke on obesity. Tonight, I want to touch a little bit on high blood pressure because, for whatever reason, the textbook likes to paint the African American culture as the most at risk for developing high blood pressure. High blood pressure can come from multiple things that you eat, not properly taking care of yourself, not properly getting rest. And in the times that we're in right now, stress can definitely contribute to somebody's blood pressure being elevated. I wanted to give you a brief definition of what high blood pressure is. High blood pressure is a common condition that affects the body's arteries. It is also called hypertension. If you have high blood pressure, the force of the blood pushing against the artery walls is consistently too high. The heart has to work harder to pump the blood. When you constantly have high blood pressure will eventually lead to other issues in your organ because your heart is one of the main organs in your body because it's pumping blood to all parts of your body. So if your blood pressure is constantly high, then your heart is constantly having to expand all the time. It's constantly working hard to try to push that blood to other main organs in the body. So once you get your blood pressure under control, then you are a candidate to develop what we call AFib. That's where your atrial is just quivering because its muscles are so weak because they have been pumping and been overextended for so long. Once you do get your blood pressure under control, then you become a candidate for that. I wanted to touch on that because I have seen a lot of my patients where us as the African American culture, we are under a lot of undue stress a lot of the times. And we mask that stress so well that we don't even realize that our blood pressure is high. I had a young lady that came into the clinic. She complained of headache. She complained of being tired. She complained of lightheadedness. Mind you, those are some of the 3 characteristics letting you know that your blood pressure is somewhat high. You need to sit down and get somebody to check it. When I checked this young lady's blood pressure, her blood pressure was 153 over 109. Now, what the problem I saw with that was when the diastolic and the systolic is the top number, the diastolic is the bottom number. When those 2 numbers starting to meet, and I mind in the medical field, you should go meet somebody else because it can lead to strokes and heart attacks. So what I want to encourage our people tonight is to strive to take 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. Don't go for your cell phone. Don't go for your coffee right there. Just sit on the side of the bed and give Allah all the praise for you waking up that morning. Go ahead and determine what your day is going to be like. Go ahead and make a small to-do list in your mind to say, okay, this is what I want to try to achieve. Take some time to meditate because when we start masking stress, then you start masking the symptoms of you having high blood pressure because then you just think of your headache. You just think you have a headache because you're stressed. No, you having a headache because your blood pressure is elevated. So I wanted to tell you guys the normal blood pressure is 120 to 180. Elevated blood pressure, the top number ranges from 120 to 190, and the bottom number is below will usually stay around the 80s. So you just have an elevated. But stage 1 hypertension, the top number ranges from 130 to 139, and the bottom number is between 80 and 89. Stage 2 hypertension, which that's when doctors usually go ahead and start putting you on medication. The top number is 140 or higher, and the bottom number is 90 or higher.
Wow.
And untreated high blood pressure increases your risk for heart attack, stroke, and other serious health problems. It is important to have your blood pressure checked at least every 2 years, starting at the age of 18. And being starting at the age of 18, that's when most teenagers are kind of being transitioned into adulthood. So you need to know what your baseline is. Now, foods can also contribute to high blood pressure. Ones that are very, very high in sodium, those that are very, very high, you have to be careful with. You have to be careful with magnesium. You have to be careful with potassium. People do not realize that you eat what you eat. You are what you eat. So if you eat a fatty animal, fatty meats, you don't know what all kind of electrolytes and products this particular meat has taken in, but then you're taking it into your body, and then it's altering your numbers.
Wow.
So we have to be careful with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we're dealing with our blood pressure, we have to put ourselves in the forefront that, okay, if I don't get my blood pressure under control now, what potential problems would I have down the road? Because unfortunately, there are some issues, there can be some chronic diseases that are irreversible, like kidney disease, for instance. When your blood pressure is high, your urethra, your capillaries, all of that going through your kidneys are very tiny veins, very tiny vessels. So if you constantly pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping, now you're overworking your kidneys, and then you can become a candidate for kidney failure. So you can get your heart rate, you can get your blood pressure under control, but then now you got your kidney failure.
Wow.
So I want our people to take time for self, first and foremost. Take time to acknowledge that Allah still has you here, even if you're not eating right now, even if you are currently on blood pressure medication, you can come off of it with diet change, exercise, at least 30 minutes every day.
Mm.
Get the movement and go and watch your diet.
Wow.
If possible, if you eat a lot of meat, which is fine. If you eat a lot of meat, try to incorporate 3 times as many vegetables and fruits, because the vegetables and fruits help your body filtrate out what is not needed because they are water-based.
Wow.
So I want to leave you with that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm definitely going to gather more information because all these diseases tie into each other.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next time, inshallah, I will be able to speak with y'all. I'm going to put how diabetes and high blood pressure are almost like brothers and sisters.
Whoa. We got to have you on again, dear sister. Look, I have a question real quick before you go. For people
Yes,
that
sir.
are at, say, the stage 2, where the doctor has prescribed a medication, what is the frequency at which that person should check their blood pressure?
If you are currently on blood pressure medication, you should definitely check your blood pressure in the morning before you take your medication. You should take it midday, and then you should take it at night before you go to bed, because you're getting up in the morning. So once you sit up, because we usually take people's blood pressure when they laying down and when they sit up and when they stand up. That's when we're testing your orthostatic blood pressure. That tells us if your blood pressure increases when you sit up, then your body is doing a lot of work. If
Yes,
your
ma'am.
blood pressure drops when you stand up, then that means your heart is tired. That means your body it doesn't have the push that it needs to put you at normal status. So either you pass out or your heart rate goes, or your heart rate and your blood pressure goes up. Those are two problems. We wanted to stay level out. So when someone is taking their blood pressure, like if somebody comes in and their blood pressure is high, we send them home with a sheet. We want you to check your blood pressure 3 times a day. When you first thing when you get up in the morning, before you eat anything, in the middle of the day, sometime in the afternoon, and before you go to bed at night. Because when you check it in the middle of the day, you've been running around, right? You've been handling business, you've been going to work. So we need to see how much your heart has, what kind of caseload your heart has.
Oh.
If your blood pressure is high in the middle of the day after you're doing running around, then that's when you need to, that's why we want you to keep a log, because even though you're running around, your body should be able to keep up with itself. But if it's not keeping up with itself and your blood pressure is high in the middle of the day, that is an indication of a problem.
Okay. And then once before you go to bed.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, look, look, I'm glad I asked that question. So brothers and sisters, you heard her. For the next episode, she's going to talk about how high blood pressure and diabetes are like brother and sister. So Sister Lynchelle, sister, thank you so very, very much. That was very, very, very informative. And we thank you. And inshallah, next week we'll hear from you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam, sir.
Praise be to Allah. That is just wonderful, our sister, to give us that information. All right, then, brothers and sisters, you got it. You got the farm report. You got the health segment. And I have to let you know that the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique, as you heard, the jingle, it has to be updated. Yeah, just give us a little more time and we'll get that information accurate on there for you. It is no longer located on Poplar Avenue. It is now located at 6075 Poplar Avenue Winchester Avenue, 6075 Winchester Avenue, inside of the Hickory Ridge Mall here in Memphis. It's also located at 8045 Giacosa Plaza. That's 8045 Giacosa Plaza, inside of the Painted Tree. There across the street from the Wolf Chase Galleria Mall. And the third location is in Madison, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, inside of the Painted Tree location there. You can also, as the jingle says, you can go and get us online at the same place at theurbanindulgence.com. There you have it. So look, let's get into tonight's episode. For those that are tuning in, listening, please feel free to come to the dashboard if you're logged in with a user ID and password. Feel free to comment, or you can call in. If you're logged in, we are accepting your phone calls. You'll log in and you'll see there's 8 circles left, or 8 call-in slots. I can handle up to 9, and there's 8 available if you want to call in and comment on any part of tonight's subject matter. We only ask that you remain civil, not be disrespectful, because if you go there, I'm going to send you there, meaning off of this platform. Okay, so let's be civil, brothers and sisters, if you do decide to call in, as well as comment. You can type your comments in. I will gladly read them if they are civil to the listening audience, and allow those or respond to them if necessary. So we want to get into the new African Americans. For those of you that have been paying attention, you would know, or at least have heard, that the United States government has allowed the first white South Africans to arrive in the United States after being granted refugee status. Well, you may say there's nothing wrong with that. Well, no, there's nothing wrong. The problem is the U.S. government, the administration, put a halt on or suspended the U.S. refugee settlement program in January of this year. They suspended it, and they left more than 100,000 people that had been approved for refugee resettlement, just kind of left them stranded. So it was over 100,000 people. They shut it down and left them stranded, although they had been approved for refugee resettlement in the U.S. But then in February, he signed an executive order directing officials to grant refugee status to specifically white South Africans. They are called Afrikaners, okay? And, if you know anything about South Africa, the leadership of white South Africans ruled during the apartheid era. And it was a regime or a government at that time that violently repressed the black majority of South Africa. Whites in South Africa represent only about 8% at the most of the population, but they control well over 70% of the land, the resources. So African peoples have simply, to cut it straight to the chase, they've just awakened and have decided, look, no longer will a small segment of this country control all the resources because the land was stolen. You know how that goes. America was stolen. So that's why I felt that this begged the question: if white Africans, Afrikaneers, as they're called, resettle to America, will they be called African Americans? And I've been noticing lately in a lot of social circles and scholarship circles, black scholars are beginning to dig deeper with regard to Africa, or what is called Africa. And I've seen people starting to talk about how there was a name for that continent long before the name Africa was applied to it by European conquerors. In fact, Dr. Joseph Ben Jacquinin, in his writing that I have, he mentioned the name long before Africa was applied to it of that continent was Alkebulan. Yep, Alkebulan. So in our lessons of the Nation of Islam, we are asked the question, why does the devil call our people Africans? There's an answer to it. He said, to make our people of North America believe that the people on that continent are the only people that we have and are all savage. That's part of the answer. Because the black man is the original man of the entire planet. So if we confine ourselves to the landmass Africa, we can lose sight of the fact that the original Asian is black. Yeah, the original Chinese is black. The original Arab is black. The black man populated the entire planet long before a white face was ever on this planet. That's not racism. That is absolute science and fact. Their scientists bear witness that it was only in the last, they say 10,000, but it's been this over 6,000 years that a Caucasian person began to appear on the planet. And their scientists have studied this. One notable scientist, Dr. Keith Chang, bears witness that the Caucasian or lighter skinned human beings are come from black people. Now, this is science, brothers and sisters. You listen now. You can go check it now, because the data is out there and easily accessible. In fact, back in 2006, the Washington Post ran an article that talked about the origin of Caucasian or blue-eyed people, as the article says, that 10,000 years ago, there were none. All people were brown-skinned, according to the Washington Post article. But you know us, brothers and sisters, we don't give attention to those kinds of things, okay? But suffice it to say, will the new arrivals to the U.S. who are Caucasian from Africa, will they be Afrikaner Americans? Will they be called African Americans? Will they be given the same privileges and status as the quote unquote black Americans? Or will they be given even better treatment? If them being singled out to be given refugee status, even after there was a halt to it in January of this year, when the Trump administration suspended those settlements, they were afforded an executive order. Well, why were they given an executive order? Or why was an executive order written? Well, I'm going to give you some of this article. This is according to the Associated Press now. Yep. According to the Associated Press. Okay. Now, it says that the first group of white South Africans granted refugee status by Donald Trump's administration had arrived in the United States, stirring controversy in South Africa as the U.S. president declared the Afrikaners to be victims of genocide. So that was the rationale, according to this article that I'm reading. Yes, I'm looking at a photograph by Miss Julia, I can't pronounce her last name, Nikki Nykinson of the Associated Press, okay? And this article is from TheGuardian.com, not the Associated Press, but The Guardian, which is one of the reputable mainstream reporting news agencies. The article continues saying the Afrikaners, a minority descended from mainly Dutch colonists, were met at Dulles International Airport, just outside of Washington, D.C., for those that may not know where that is. Close to Virginia, I think it is. They were welcomed by the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Christopher Landau. The Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security was also there, Mr. Troy Edgar, with many giving U.S. flags to wave, meaning the refugees. Now, Reuters News reported that the group numbered 59 adults and children, and the Associated Press said it was 49. It really doesn't matter one way or the other. But at Dulles Airport, Mr. Landau, who is the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, he said, quote, "It is such an honor for us to receive you here today. It makes me so happy to see you with your flag, or our flag, in your hands." And then the article says that Mr. Landau invoked his family's history, saying, quote, "My own father was born in Europe and had to leave his country when Hitler came in. We respect what you have had to deal with these past few years," end quote, according to the article. The article also says he added, "We're sending a clear message that the United States really rejects the egregious persecution of people on the basis of race in South Africa," end quote. Wow. Wow. You didn't hear such language during the apartheid era, now did you? But I'm not trying to relive and re-talk about apartheid. What are the implications, brothers and sisters? What has the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been warning and 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 warning us about since the late 70s? In fact, 1977, he began to preach and rebuild the work of his father, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this man has crisscrossed this country, crisscrossed the planet, did 3 World Friendship Tours in Africa and in the Middle East, in those areas, which should help you understand why there is a Ibrahim Traore that has stood up. Is that the Farrakhan effect? I can say unequivocally, it definitely is, because there was another young man on the west coast of Africa that was inspired by the message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to stand up and take control of their government. But of course, you're not going to hear about that. Not in the U.S., unless it disturbs something that they're involved in. But the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has been warning and warning us, brothers and sisters, that this kind of thing was coming. He said to us that in Africa, the whites will be pushed out. The colonialists and the exploiters, and they will be coming back to America and Europe. like the angry birds, like Babylon was a hold in a cage for every unclean and hateful bird. He warned us that they will be pushed out from Africa and they would be fleeing back to America and Europe. So here we are, the descendants of those who ran one of the most brutal regimes in the Western world. I mean, brutal. So Black America, meanwhile, and I'm not angry at them. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not angry at you. Some reports saying that Mr. Musk helped facilitated that. And they, of course, you got to think about what is the expenditure. What did it cost? What is it going to cost? What monies have they allotted to have earmarked for that group to get them resettled? Housing, healthcare, jobs, all of the things that they will need to be able to navigate. Now, according to the article, they said one consideration for resettling Afrikaners and not the Afghans, because on the same day that Mr. Trump, or on the same day that they arrived, the Afrikaners, the same day that they arrived, the U.S. government also ended legal protections that had temporarily protected Afghans from deportation. And the reason they did it, according to this article, was because the security had improved. The security situation had improved in Afghanistan, in the country which was ruled by the Taliban. So they have ended the legal protections on the same day that the Afrikaners arrived that protected Afghans from being deported. Interesting. See, if you don't go and read, this is what make the Final Call newspaper so very, 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 very important, brothers and sisters. So you look at the brother and the sister, the brother, not the and the sister, but so our sisters have them too. You run across a sister in the grocery store, she's out shopping. There's a good chance she's got a Final Call somewhere around. You may want to just ask. Be careful when you ask now, okay? But you tend to believe that we brothers that are on the block, going through the community, knocking on your door, offering you a national and international news publication that is the most reliable and trusted and balanced reporting newspaper in America. It's not corporate driven. We're not beholden to interest that would hinder us from reporting the facts as they are. We won't have to slant stories and spin in favor of some corporate interest. We can tell the unadulterated truth. Unfortunately, some of our people think we're trying to peddle religion on them. No, family. No. The Final Call newspaper is a news source that can serve as an antidote to the slanted media reports you always get. So make sure when you see the brother on the corner with the newspaper, it would behoove you get one and read. Because I bet you didn't know that the Afghans had been given, protections from deportation. And the day that the Afrikaners arrived, the same day, the U.S. government ended the legal protections that had temporarily protected the Afghans from deportation, because they say, well, things have improved over in Afghanistan. Taliban ain't ruling no more, so y'all can go on back home. And of course, brothers and sisters, you are seeing daily on the news. So why are you bringing this up? Why are you reporting this, Brother Muhammad? See, brothers and sisters, I'm not mad at Mr. Musk if he did play a role. He's helping his people. He's South African. You did know that, didn't you? Mr. Elon Musk is from South Africa. Yes. So the question that I have for us is, when are our moneyed brothers and sisters? You know, the moneyed brothers and sisters, the big salaried brother and sisters, that's the entertainer, the sports figure, they see this too. as quiet, the talking heads on the sports shows, you know, the NFL, the NBA players, the music community. When are we going to understand and realize that we need to do as they do? They help one another. Not angry at Mr. Musk for helping his people. I'm taken aback at the fact that we still have not figured out that what we see happening in our communities, the loss of our young people, the fratricidal conflict that we see happening, and all of the other social ills, which one I'm going to segue into at the top of the hour. And we're going to finish the program with the second part of this program of tonight's broadcast. When are we going to understand that it's up to us to effectively organize ourselves across political ideologies, across all of these religious lines and excuses we use that we hide behind to justify not working with one another? When are we going to get over the egos, you know, and all of the idiosyncrasies that keep us divided, all of the online debates about stuff like who killed Malcolm? And we still have to explain to you, we have to get you the truth because somebody's always lying and somebody is still beating and forwarding old information that's been thoroughly debunked. So we would rather spend time on that. And in some areas, don't get me wrong now, because we have brothers that have written extensively on it, and the information that's been unearthed really should disabuse you of this notion that the Nation of Islam was responsible for our dear brother's death. But, you know, some of us just want to believe that in face of the mountain of evidence to the contrary. So that is necessary. But when are we going to realize that we got to reach beyond the traditional boundaries and barriers that have kept us divided and begin to help ourselves? That's what Mr. Musk is doing, according to what the news is reporting, and he's got plenty of money to do it, and he's just one. So what happens when our moneyed brothers and sisters, from the boxing world to the NFL, to the NBA, to the movies, to the music world, what happens when they begin to unite? What happens when they realize that there's been a program among our people now for 94 years, that if you study the history of it, it is proven effective in solving the social, economic, political, mental, and spiritual ills of our people? If you would study the work of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, not look at it as a religion. When you look at what he did, the people he employed, over 11,000 at one point, most of those that he employed were not even Muslims. Many of the teachers in the schools, the universities of Islam, were not even Muslim. They were Christian brothers and sisters. Because all of us got to eat. All of our children have to be educated. There's no such thing as Muslim history when it comes to the sojourn of black people in America. So I'm citing this, because is this the genesis? There's gentrification of black communities. Will they socially gentrify us and supplant us as the African Americans? That's why I asked the question. The new African Americans, will we be supplanted, black people? Socially, politically, and economically by the new ones? It's just a question I'm just asking. I would like, and let me switch to the dashboard to just see, has anyone voiced any opinions on this? What do you think, brothers and sisters? What does the future hold, and how many more will come over? Is this the litmus test, this few, to see how it goes and see the response? And some, I can't remember the church. I didn't get an opportunity to pull the information. I can't remember the name of the church. It's a white church. They have declined to support that effort. citing that, it goes against, their view. They don't think it's moral to do such. And when you go and do the research, and it's not long. When I say research, that doesn't suggest that it's some long drawn out process. It's being reported on extensively. You will see that even many whites in America will tell you these people are not fleeing genocide. Yeah, they're fleeing because they are no longer in control. And because they're no longer in control, then they don't want to stay where they can't control it. It's kind of that old thing, it's my basketball, and if I can't play, I'm leaving with my ball. Those back in the hood, back in the day, you had a little brother like that. His parents could afford a basketball. My parents couldn't, so there was always one brother in the hood that got a basketball for Christmas, and we played with his ball, and we had to let him play because after all, it's his ball. And if he couldn't control the game, by being allowed to play, then, he'd take his ball and go home. And that's what it sounds like here, according to many sources that have reported on this subject. So let me begin to close down this segment or this first part of tonight's broadcast. It says in this article that they say race makes no difference. This is according to what the article is saying about those who allowed the Afrikaners in. They said South Africans leaders were going to come and to meet the Trump administration, or Mr. Trump himself, according to this article. But he would not attend the G20 leaders' meeting in Johannesburg in November unless the situation was taken care of. Wow, that's deep. And when you look at that in the context of what black people have suffered and continue to suffer in America, did you all know that Ben Shapiro started a petition to ask Mr. Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin? See, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you this because, our mosques and study groups around the Nation of Islam have been calling our people to the truth and to accept your own and be yourself. And the time is coming that you're going to be really looking for that brother in that suit and that bow tie with that newspaper, because you're going to really understand at some point we will be forced to unite. Oh, it's written in scripture now. It's in the books. It's in the sacred texts, particularly in the prophecy, if you will. That's what it really is, because it didn't happen in history, if you understand and if you've studied. The prophecy that's written about Moses and the children of Israel. Moses led them out of Egypt. Children of Israel began to murmur against Moses and Aaron. Oh, yeah. So Jehovah sent fiery serpents to bite them. Yeah. And the scripture says many of the children of Israel did die. So these ain't no whole bunch of snakes. Uh-oh, let me check comments. Let's see, I see something scrolling here. Okay. Let me see. Oh, that is so small. It says, I do press the phone option. Talk. Yes, just press the phone option. The little circle that says call in. If those are listening that are interested in calling in, and when I see you pop up on the dashboard, I will certainly invite you in to make a comment. So it's good to see that somebody's interested in sharing their thoughts on this part of the program. Oh, I got somebody that's calling. Let me invite this person in. Let's see who this is. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Welcome to the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Now that person, okay, you didn't come on the dashboard yet. You have to have a user ID and password logged on now when you are on the app. For that person that's trying to get in, I didn't see the name. Oh, this is Sister Tiffany. You are certainly welcome to try again, sis. If make sure you have a user ID and password and you're logged on. And when you hit the call in circle, I saw you try to get in, but you can't come in unless you have logged on with the user ID and password. And it's free. You don't have to pay anything for the user ID and password. That's what allows you to be a caller to call in. So, brothers and sisters, this is really something, this development with regard to the new. Okay, I see my sister. She said okay. So I think she's going to create herself a user ID and password and log in and make her comment. And brothers and sisters, don't be afraid. Call in. Share your thoughts, because this is really, really news. This is really something to consider. And what it's doing, it is highlighting a mentality in American society at the highest level of power that many of us are still in denial about. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan among us right now has told us, and he told us before the Trump administration began, when he was on WVON with Cliff Kelly in Chicago. He said some very important things, brothers and sisters. You should go back and re-listen to the interview and then reflect on what you're watching. He said that the Trump's campaign is peeling back the mask of civility on white America, whereby they are showing you their true face and how they really feel. And haven't you, in the first term, and especially since the second term, you are seeing and hearing the true mind and heart of many Caucasian people, not all of them, but a good, strong percentage of them, how they really feel, from the youngest of them to the old ones. It's not confined to the elderly or the baby boomer bunch. No, young people in high school are expressing the same sentiment as their parents. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has warned us. Now, I'm not saying this that we should get mad at them and, no, we should really be mad at ourselves for not acknowledging and accepting the obvious and then taking the necessary steps to insulate ourselves and our communities by doing something simple. As Dr. King said, we don't have to throw a Molotov cocktail. We don't have to, no. All we got to do is unite amongst ourselves, pool our resources, and do for self and come out of her. Then got to leave and go back to Africa. Come out of her. Segregate, separate. Support our own businesses. Don't support them. They don't support us. Begin to build our own. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's template for building a nation within a nation. The history is there for us to study and replicate. It is there. But you know what many are thinking in leadership? Well, where is that going to leave me? See, we've developed the mentality of our slave master. If I can't run it, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. Well, go home. Because all of us are not going to do what's necessary. It's clear. We're not lost on that. So we're going to begin to segue to the next part of tonight's program. So we're going to take a brief break and we'll be right back, brothers and sisters, for part 2 of the 10K Fearless Tri-State podcast. Stand by. We'll be right back.
I ain't dead, it's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers. But every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name. Really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called it karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe their eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie. Rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patriots say nothing to get back. Gave birth to the hit back. Graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this, that. Payback is a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
It is a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Shake's Famous Seasonings. Flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com. What's It's your source for truth in news reports.
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back live here at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother, your friend and host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. Make sure, brothers and sisters, you subscribe to that Final Call newspaper. Make sure you get that home delivery. If you are in Holly Springs or Marshall County, you can give us a call at 662-252-8999, or you can drop us a line at our 10K Fearless Tri-State post office box if you want the Final Call, or if you want to become a part of the 10K Fearless family here in Holly Springs. Post office box is 517 Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. We have available now those teeny beanies. Our brother Najee X, he's getting that supreme bean pie in grocery stores or corner stores and gas stations all down there in Tupelo, Mississippi. If you want to donate to help fund and to help facilitate the Holly Springs, Mississippi Study Group, you can come by 165 North Memphis Street, in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Get you one of those supreme teeny bean pies, just for a small donation. We also have those 2-pound bags of whiting fish. Y'all know y'all every Friday like to get your whiting fish. Come by and support us there at 165 North Memphis Street. Also, Final Call newspaper. Make sure you get one. We will be out not tomorrow, but Saturday. Come down. If you're in Holly Springs, you're rolling through, we'll be out in the community making that great Final Call newspaper available to you. So that is all of our announcements. No, I got one more. Make sure that you get the updated information concerning the urbanindulgence.com. Go to the website. New location is 6075 Winchester Avenue inside the Hickory Ridge Mall. Make sure you go there and get your bath and body care products. We're also located inside of 8045 Giacosa Plaza, inside of the Painted Tree that is across from the Wolf Chase Galleria. Also got a new location just recently opened in Madison, Tennessee. That's just outside of Nashville. So if you're up in that area around Mosque number 60 with Brother Samuel and Brother Captain Andre and the believers up there, make sure you drop in and get some of your Urban Indulgence bath and body care products, okay? So let's move to the second portion of tonight's program. We're not going to be long on this one because we only got about 15 minutes left in tonight's program, brothers and sisters. Something that I want to bring to our attention, I kind of talked about it. I kind of posted about it in the Real Holly Springs discussion group there. Just asked the question, what did the people think about the new smoke shop that's right up the street from us? We're at 165 North Memphis Street. They are at 144 North Memphis Street. It is a smoke shop that sells marijuana, medical marijuana, that you're supposed to have the right credentials to be able to purchase. Which I question. Just got some questions about it. They're selling, dispensing medical marijuana. Recently, the state of Mississippi legalized dispensing medical marijuana. And you would be surprised to find out that within a few months, a few years, really, now I think it's since 22, what's this, 25? Do you have any idea of how many medical marijuana or medical cannabis? I'm kind of tongue-tied tonight for some strange reason. The Mississippi Medical Cannabis Program. Do you know how many dispensaries have popped up in Mississippi? You take a guess There are 117 medical marijuana dispensaries that have popped up. And in those numbers, the new one that's in Holly Springs is not even included. So that says some more has established or opened since those numbers. So it could be well over 117. It could be between the 120s, 130s. And I want to tell you some of the cities that you will find these medical marijuana dispensaries or smoke shops and that kind of thing. Uh-oh. Okay, good. My sister, let me make sure I monitor here. So if she wants to call back in and make a comment on the previous subject, that is just fine. But okay, there she is. Okay, dear sister, come on in. I welcome you. Welcome to the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Are you there? She should be coming up momentarily.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Oh,
great.
She made it in. Hi, salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Hey, yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Your first topic is a really great topic. So this is really good. So my comment about it is that I just personally think I'm in the research world. So I just personally think what is occurring, it's what we call just trying to preserve a strain, right? The strain is fragile. So you need to bring it back up in the mouse world, right? So if you have these basically white people coming from Africa, pretty much what you're saying is that, there's no blacks in their bloodline, right? Yeah. So you're bringing them over here with their children, you're welcoming them. So you actually you're doing breeding is what they're doing, is what they're really trying to do. And so either you now have children that will grow up. These are different families that come over. So either they will, in a sense, mix amongst themselves or get into the general population with other white people in America. And you can just generate what they want, that Anglo-Saxon pure white line. So that's, to me, what they're doing. That's the backdrop of it. It's all genetics. They look at all of that.
Well,
so that's my comment.
Well, thank you so much. I can't disagree. Let's give her a round of applause. I like that comment because my mind went to what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said, that whites are fear genetic annihilation because when they mix with us, yes, there's no more them. So right. I can see that comment. Sister Tiffany, thank you so much for calling in. You're nice, loud, and clear. And I say to all the other brothers and sisters, the believers as well, you're welcome to call in now. There's no sanctions on not being able to call in. Dear sister, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
That's right. Give her another round of applause. Look, it's always good to know that we have people tuned in, and I see you all. People are tuned in, and people are liking the program. They're making comments and whatnot, and we certainly appreciate you all for calling in and for tuning in. But her comment is spot on, if you ask me, because as the article said, they're Dutch immigrants, and I can see where there is a tie-in in terms of them wanting to preserve their bloodline, their heritage, and that kind of thing. And I'm not angry. We shouldn't be angry because Caucasian people want their children to look like them. That's natural. I don't think I can't think of any other species of creature that would want to reproduce something that's other than themselves. I just don't disagree with that notion. If they feel that they want to keep their bloodline, then I want to keep my bloodline mine, to be quite frank with you. And I don't see a problem with that. What I see a problem with is, one, us not effectively responding to what we have been faced with for nearly 470 years. The pattern is the same, brothers and sisters. So it's really not their fault anymore. We really don't have a right to be angry with the Trump administration for bringing the Afrikaners here. History is clear that America was established by white people for white people. We were brought here to be the burden bearers. We forced them to accept us. Okay? We, the Nation of Islam, do not believe in imposing ourselves where we're not wanted. We understand. But if that is the case, just say that. And then let us self-determine the reality we want for ourselves. That's what they did. They said, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for two people whose political ties have bound them together. You know, that's the Declaration of Independence, right? And they couldn't get along amongst themselves, so they separated. They left England and came over here and started their own thing. Why is it such a wild concept for black people in America who have suffered far greater than what the colonists were suffering to have the same thought, to separate? I'm not talking about going back to Africa. No, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made it clear that if we can't get freedom, justice, and equality, points number 1, 2, and 3 of what the Muslims want. You know, it ain't just we want to separate. Well, if you can give us freedom, a full and complete freedom, okay? If you can give us justice, equal justice under the law, if you can give us equality of opportunity, then cool. But if we can't get the first 3, then a divorce, hey, we got to get a divorce, man. If a woman can't get freedom, justice, and equality in her marriage, or the man can't, but I would like to use the example of the woman. If she can't stop being abused, if she can't stop being cussed out and hit in the head and giving black eyes and bruises all over the place, she will go get counseling and try to make an effort probably to save the marriage. But if it persists, then she got to get out of there or he going to love her to death. So it is with the relationship with black and white America. But those that want to stay, hey, stay if that's what you want to do. And you stay, But if you're paying attention, at some point they're going to peel back the mask of civility, which they have done, and show you how they really feel. And that's not to say that all of them feel the same way. We get all in our feelings about that kind of thing. But we want to deal with these pot stores, these marijuana dispensaries, and they're mostly in small black communities. Listen at some of the cities that they're in. They're in 117 locations. There are 117 of them as of Mississippi's medical cannabis program. And since these 117, additional ones have popped up, particularly in Holly Springs, Mississippi. That one is not listed in this list. So the cities that they exist in is in Jackson, Mississippi. You got them in Biloxi. You got several in these cities too. Some of these cities, I should say. So Jackson, Mississippi, Biloxi, Meridian, Mississippi, Pascagoula, Mississippi, Hernando, Mississippi, Gulfport, Waveland, Mississippi. Some of these cities you've never heard of. Cleveland, Mississippi, Greenwood, Columbus, Hattiesburg. Yep, they're in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Tupelo has several locations. They're in Lewis, Mississippi, Pearl, Mississippi. Did I say Hattiesburg? I think I already see it. I got Hattiesburg highlighted twice, excuse me. But it's in 2 locations and another one, I think. They're in Brandon, Oxford, Olive Branch, McGee, Kosciuszko, Mississippi. I think I pronounced that right. Water Valley, Mississippi. Hernando, Vicksburg, Richland, Horn Lake, Fulton, Mississippi. Collinsville, Mississippi. Yazoo City, Mississippi. Diamond Head, Mississippi. McGee, Mississippi. Canton, Mississippi. Natchez, Senatobia, Brookhaven, Long Beach, Mississippi. You thought it was only in Long Beach, California, huh? It's a Long Beach, Mississippi. Starksville, Boyle, Mississippi. Lucedale, Mississippi. Ripley, Carthage, Ocean Springs, Grenada, Drew, Mississippi. Forest, Mississippi. Tylertown, Mississippi. Poplarville, Mississippi. Laurel, Mississippi. West Point, Boonesville, Mississippi. Those are the cities, according to the Mississippi Cannabis Program, Medical Cannabis Program, according to their recent data. That's where these medical marijuana dispensaries are located. Now, I got some questions. Because, brothers and sisters, I decided to I was in Holly Springs one night, after a meeting, and I decided to just, before going home, just kind of drive past the new location. It's just right up the street. And those that are familiar with that facility that it's located in is right across the street from that gas station right there at the corner of the center of town and Memphis Street. And that little horseshoe up in there, it was filled with cars and people, our brothers and sisters hanging out. Now, the first thing that came to my mind, because with the legalization of alcohol, which happened a long, long time ago, if you know anything about the numbers in terms of accidents and what are the contributing factors, alcohol is drunk driving is a serious problem in America. Serious problem. A lot of people lose their lives as a result of it. It puts a strain on your first responders in any community, all the way from your police officers to your paramedics to your ER doctors to your fire. They have to respond to these accidents. Now, Mississippi, Holly Springs, a very small city. And I'm just wondering, because it's not only the medical marijuana they're selling something called kratom. You should go and look it up. It's Kratom. Go and look up the effects of it. It's banned in a couple of states in the Deep South. And I think Alabama has regulations on it. But it's banned in, God, I forgot the two states. I looked it up. But you can go and look it up yourself. Okay? Why would they ban it? It's not regulated in Mississippi at all. And I must add, brothers and sisters, and some ain't going to like this, but I don't really care because it's the truth. The irony in all of this is that the store, the marijuana dispensary, or the store, the smoke shop right up the street from our mosque in Holly Springs is owned and operated by Palestinian immigrants. That's some heck of an irony in my mind, particularly of in light of what's happening in Palestine right now. Just a caveat I think we should take note of. But as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan used to say, the merchants of death dump filth daily in our communities and we put it into our bodies. So this smoke shop, this marijuana selling store is within a quarter mile of City Hall. It is within a half mile of Holly Springs High School. It is within a half mile of Rusk College as well as the Ida B. Wells Museum. Our children will frequent that. They say, well, people will say, well, no, you got to have a medical marijuana card and you have to be 18 of a certain age. I find that interesting. In Tennessee, they lowered the age at which you can carry a gun openly to 18, but you still have to be 21 to get drunk. So you mean to tell me legislators think it's smart to allow a juvenile or a teen to have a weapon to determine whether or not to use lethal force, but they're still not mature enough to handle drinking? I just something to think about. But at any rate, just like our children get grown-ups to go into a store and buy them cigarettes, likewise, will they solicit those with the proper credentials to go into these marijuana stores and buy them marijuana? And I'd like to thank my brother William. He looked it up for me. I couldn't remember that. I looked it up in the previous program. And as of November 2023, the following states have banned kratom because it has an opioid effect on the people who consume it. And those states are Alabama, Arkansas, Indiana, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. So what's going on? And what will be the effect in the days, months, and years to come on Holly Springs and Marshall counties' first responders? You've been having some shootings, haven't you, Holly Springs? Haven't you? You've been having some homicides, an unusual number. Well, let me let you in on another secret. And recently, the DEA made one of the largest busts in their history, the largest fentanyl bust in DEA history. Said authorities seized over 400 kilograms of fentanyl. Albuquerque, New Mexico, approximately 369 kilograms of fentanyl pills. And then in Salem, Oregon, they got some contraband. Now, the fentanyl was there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But there were several states where they made these seizures. 72 pounds of methamphetamine in Phoenix, Arizona. 2.4 pounds of heroin. 13 kilograms of fentanyl pills. Well, why? What is the connection? Well, brother, that's way out. And it was in Las Vegas. I'm just naming the cities where they made their seizures. Las Vegas, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, Layton, Utah, Salem, Oregon, and Albuquerque, New Mexico is what this report lists. See, unknown to us in our community, these fentanyl pills, they're in pill form because our young people are on these pills. Okay? And these pills look like Adderall pills. Adderall is one of the psychotropic medications that they give to our children. They look like, what's those 4 bars they call them? Xanax. In other words, these fentanyl-laced pills are made to look like prescription medications that are dispensed to our people for maladies and psychotropic meds. And if you are not astute as to what these pills really look like, our children can get a hold of them. And you are seeing more and more of our young people suffering from fentanyl overdoses. My family is a victim of it, a fentanyl overdose. And guess what else they're putting fentanyl in, young brothers and sisters? They're putting it in marijuana. So you're starting to see cases of fentanyl overdoses in marijuana. Here in the city of Memphis, it's so bad now police officers have to carry Narcan during their tour of duty. So it's putting a strain on your uniformed patrol officer. Not only does he have to carry Narcan, he has to carry an ADE, a defibrillator. So not only does he have to be a police officer, he dang near has to be an EMT as well. So all of these small cities that are now got the medical marijuana and these smoke shops are opening up, selling that and God knows what else. Do you have a vice narcotics unit to do integrity checks on these places of business where you send people in and make sure that these merchants are abiding by the laws and regulations? Because you do know now these corner stores in the hood, they sell our children cigarettes, Black and Milds and Switzers. They sell our children beer because they're about making a dollar. So if they can sell it to them and get away with it, do you think, are you naive enough to believe that all of these stores in these black communities throughout the state of Mississippi are going to abide by the law? Of course you don't believe that. You know better. So what I'm saying to, Mississippi, Holly Springs and Marshall County, several mothers have come to us concerned about their sons. Are you going to let this swallow up your children, brother and sister? There are people that have told me personally, they've been calling out for help for their children. They're wayward. They want nobody help. Well, we're here to help. Send your young men to us, brothers and sisters. We're there. Our men's class there in Holly Springs every Monday night, 7:30. Oh, yeah, we have a women's class too. We should unite our forces in our communities and in Holly Springs and Marshall County. We should hitch our wagons and circle them for the sake of our children, brothers and sisters, because I'm telling you, if how these kinds of merchants of death is what we call them, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan calls them, if they have the same effect in Marshall County that they've had in your major cities, Marshall County in North Mississippi is in for trouble. Because what happens when one of these children are tripping on smoking kratom and they're hallucinating, and mama calls the police because she can't handle it, her son or her daughter, then they wild it out. The police makes the scene. The child is acting just way out there, hallucinating, and you have tragedy. Then who you're going to lay the blame on? See, because they are more concerned with generating revenue at the expense of the community. Yea, I say the youth. If you disagree, put forth your argument, because the data is out there that proves that these types of merchants in black communities are more detrimental to our community than beneficial, because those merchants do not reinvest in those communities. They suck the economic life from them and leave them barren. And you have crackheads and substance abuse people. So now, rehab facilities. You have police having to deal with theft and burglaries and robberies for people trying to support their habits. Next thing you know, you'll have gunfire, and then you put a strain on your ER nurses and doctors, and there is no level 1 trauma city close by in Marshall County now, is it? There's not even a hospital in Holly Springs where young women that are pregnant have somewhere in close proximity. They got to go way back up to Olive Branch to Baptist. Ain't that something? That's a good little ride now. That's about 25 miles. We better wake up, brothers and sisters. But there you have it. That's I'm going to put a pin in it tonight. That's what we wanted to present to us tonight, to give us something to think about in the coming days. Because I'm telling you, if this kratom and this weed, you already got marijuana, but see, they can do it openly now. And all of you know, every now and again, several times throughout the day, if you're out and about, you can be sitting at a red light. All of a sudden, you smell this pungent odor of what they call loud. And it's almost gotten to the point where it's normalized. You're not even surprised anymore. You're walking up the street, a car drives by, and woof, it hits you right in the nostrils. Loud. So, dear brothers and sisters, just something to think about. Either we deal with it, try to get ahead of it, or we just deal with the consequences. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it like this: the black man better do something for himself before he has it to do. Mr. Musk and the white South Africans are looking after one another. When are we going to awaken to the responsibility to make our community safe and decent places to live? So with that said, look, brothers and sisters, we thank you certainly for tuning in to tonight's episode. We want you to remember that self-improvement is the basis for community development. Our community will never get any better than the people that live there. We want you to know from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he has said to us, quote, that no one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad. And this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition. And brothers and sisters, when we engage, and if we decide to engage collectively in this fight, this is what we will be faced with. but many hands make light work. So the more of us, if a critical mass of us get involved, we will get the results that we desire. Once again, I say to you, always remember that self-improvement is the basis for community development. And please allow us to leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you.
Control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the message.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi.